Reginald here.
Now, I've gotten a number of requests to put out a build guide for the game that I played and posted the other day. This one. If you haven't watched it, it is an insane game with some really interesting action, and it was a lot of fun. So, unfortunately, I'm a little strapped for time right now, so I'm going to have to keep this a little light on the pomp and circumstance, and we're just going to do it live. So, here is my veteran. As you know, I play veteran in Havoc 40 sometimes. It's fun. I like it. And I wanted to do something a little different and play with a weapon that everyone said was dog. Well, I tried it, and it wasn't that bad. There's really just a couple of cases where it's not good, which is mostly into heavy carapace armor, crusher waves. Otherwise, thing handled maulers and ragers just fine. So, let's take a look. First of all, here's the heavy sword I will be using. Flak Maniac with a dump stat of cleave targets. We're going to be using Deathblow and Headtaker. Deathblow is one of the best blessings in the game. It allows you to cleave multiple heads, so you don't care about cleave targets anymore. If you get a single kill on one hit, the rest of the swing goes through everybody. So if you kill like one Rager, which you can do in one hit with this weapon, potentially, then you kill all the Ragers, which makes this weapon actually pretty good. It's probably weakest into maulers for that reason, but this build sort of solves that a little bit. Headtaker, of course, improves strength, and this thing just cleaves hordes like nobody's business. The scoreboard was solid. All right, Spearhead Bolt Gun. Why did I take this over something like Plasma? Well, take Plasma if you want. It's a solid choice. I liked this because the big trouble I was having individually was I needed more stuff to like fall over at once than Plasma was giving me. I needed stuff to be staggered, knocked over. I needed to be able to make some space for myself. I needed to be able to mag dump. I was, of course, thirsty for ammunition, but this did work insofar as I, needed that occasion. I'm running Unyielding, Maniacs, Dump Stat, Mobility. You could potentially Dump Stat on Stability because you mostly are hip firing this thing, but you'd have to check and see if that's worth it. I've not played with that bolter. Puncture is great for boss damage and tends to get you a lot of breakpoints into other unyielding targets, and sometimes you can like shoot a trapper but like not in the head and you'll still fall over dead from the bleed. All that's nice. Spinning Fire, pretty much the required take if you're not running a crit. Next up, let's look at my curios. Very simple, I'm just going to leaf through them. If you are not taking 2 Gunner Resist and 2 Revive Speed on your curios, you are essentially throwing. So please take those. I won't elaborate further for now. We'll get into it another day when I talk about curios. Here is the build itself. You notice it's a little light on toughness at the top, and that's because we are going to be leveraging a few different components of the kit to keep us alive. But basically, we want confirmed kill. That will give us decent regen. Long shot is just a pickup. You could, instead of long shot, by the way, run one motion, and I might make that swap here because of, what that gives you for the bolter, right? So, your choice. Close order drill is required. We're going to take crack grenades. This is critical. Crack grenades are not optional in this build. They solve the one problem you have with the heavy sword, which is heavy armor waves. It just fixes it, and you're golden. Toughness boost we have to take. Superiority complex, great, of course. Iron Will, great survivability tool. Trench Fighter Drill, of course, we need for the melee attack speed on our heavy sword. We're just basically, why are we doing this? Like, this is mostly a melee build with the ability to dump ammo. Field Improvisation is a great node. It could be skipped if you really want the point for something else, but I think it's awesome and really good for team play, including your grenade throwing. Like, throwing a bazillion crack grenades is great. Serrated Blade. All right. I know what you're thinking. Bro, it's like a couple stacks of bleed. It's 2 stacks of bleed on a really fast swinging weapon that can cleave lots of targets potentially. It also boosts your boss damage in a one-on-one fight with a boss because once you get him to 16 stacks, which doesn't take that many hits, he's going to be bleeding out pretty quickly. It's good also for helping you deal with maulers because once you stack these up on a single mauler, even if you can't kill it quickly with the heavy sword, you're going to want to swing for body shots, by the way, for the most part. You'll swing for body shots, and the mauler will stack up bleed, and then he will die because bleed into flak is not that bad. Okay, hope that helps. Catch a breath. This is another way we're going to be taking advantage of toughness replenishment. This is really strong on vet, so it's a makeup node for us, and it's required. Survivalist, of course, we're going to take all 3 grenade loads because our goal is to throw as many cracks as possible into those armored targets. We want Voice of Command, so that will glance us over some of those toughness issues we run into. And then from here, we're going to have this bottom section. We want the weak spot damage because it applies to melee as well as to ranged. If you didn't know that, and that will make it much easier to get those one-shot headshots, which will give us full cleave from whatever that node is called. Death Blow. Fully loaded, of course, we need ammo for our bolter. He's hungry. Demolition team for more grenades. You need lots of grenades. Tactical awareness, because yes, that is one of the best nodes on the kit. And rending strikes. I'll get into this in a second. We'll finish off at the end here. We need the melee damage boost, reciprocity for the additional crit on dodge. I don't think you need duck and dive or close quarters kill zone. I think that's fine. Desperado is melee critical chance and finesse boost. The finesse boost means more headshot damage, so yeah. But really, it's just on their way down to through skirmisher, exploit weakness, and weapons specialist. We need weapons specialist here because it is what's going to give us the ability to trigger faster attack speed in melee. I know the pull-out time on the bolter is long. It's hard to do this. It's still a good choice because of everything else that's in here, including like this, okay? You are going to be able to like shoot something at the start of a fight and get the attack speed bonus before you go into a big melee fight, and then otherwise you're going to be fine. It would be better if I had taken one motion here, so again, consider it seriously, but this is not like a fast trigger switch over here. If you really, for some reason, don't want to go this route, you can go take, like, focus target is probably what I would grab instead. But I digress. Worked for me, okay? Let's go back to rending strikes. What's the big weakness on the weapon? It is bad armor damage. Is this a huge boon to armor damage? No. But is it good enough? Yes. It does seem to make a noticeable impact on how quickly I'm able to kill maulers, flak ragers, and even crushers, including giving me the better ability to apply bleed in an effective way. Now, it's not going to do any more bleed damage because it's not brittleness, but I'm just saying it feels noticeable to me. I felt like I labbed it out before I ran this, and it did feel like I was able to get my kills better. I was getting like a couple less hits into mauler bodies and stuff. Like I could hit the heads for more damage. It was noticeable, but not amazing. You can swap this node out if you want, but I think it actually matters. It will require some testing. This is a not perfectly refined build that I have cleared Havoc 40 in, so if you want to run it in like an Auric, you're definitely safe. And if you want to run it in a Havoc game, just make sure you have a team that knows what they're doing, because I did, and that's how we got through. Again, that's all I had time for today, but people really wanted me to post this build, and I'm happy to do so. So some warm regards, everybody.
Reginald.
It's very important to me to take a moment and recognize the people who have been supporting my channel all this time. Thank you so much to a rando dude and Joseph Davison for your significant contribution to this channel and its longevity. As Oathmaker level members, you guys have done a lot for this channel. Also to Monolith for becoming my first Savant level member and also inventing the whole level. I really appreciate that a lot. Here's your Comic Sans. And to Fluff, Zimisk3, and Monolith Mask for your support as adept level members. You know how much this means to me, and I really appreciate it. Lastly, but not leastly, to everyone else who has supported my channel, and especially to Vinny for your continued support of my streams. Thank you so much. The channel would not be the same without all of you supporting it, and I'm really, really grateful. I look forward to continuing to try and cover interesting topics on this channel, and I've got plenty of stuff kind of lined up that I'd like to do. So thanks so much, everyone.